All right, today we're going to talk about a bone that most of us probably never even think about. But here's the thing, it's the absolute foundation for our posture, our movement, and even our nervous system. We are talking about the sacrum, your body's sacred keystone.
So let me just start with a simple question for you. How does your spine, that whole long column of bones, actually connect to your legs? I mean, there's no direct joint there, right? So what's the bridge? The answer, well, it's the very bone we're going to dive into today.
And here it is, the sacrum. Its name actually comes from the Latin word for sacred. And once you see everything it does, you'll totally get why. It's this big triangular bone made from 5 vertebrae that have all fused together. It's what creates that strong, solid back wall of your pelvis, linking your entire upper and lower body. So here's what we've got on tap. We're going to look at why it's called the body's keystone, take a tour of its amazing structure, see how it protects the superhighway of nerves, understand how it's built for life's demands, and finally, see the sacrum in action. Okay, let's dive right into its first huge role. I want you to understand, this isn't just some passive piece of bone. The sacrum has 3 critical missions that are absolutely essential for pretty much everything you do. So job number 1, it builds the solid back wall of your pelvis. Job 2, from that position, it has to support your entire spine, everything above it. And job 3, which is massive, is to take all the weight from your upper body and transmit it down, through the pelvis and into your legs. And this right here is the perfect analogy. Just think of your pelvic bones like a Roman arch. The sacrum is the keystone, that wedge-shaped stone right at the top that locks the entire structure together. It's what gives the whole thing incredible strength and stability. Without that one piece, the whole arch would just crumble. So how in the world is this one bone able to do all of that? Well, it all comes down to its incredible design. We're going to take a little tour of its surfaces and features, and you'll see it's a true marvel of biological engineering. Now, what's really fascinating here is the contrast. It's like night and day. The front surface, the part facing into your pelvis, is all smooth and curved to make room for organs like your rectum. But flip it over, and the back is rough, bumpy, and covered in ridges. Why the huge difference? It's the main anchor point for massive muscles, like the erector spinae, that literally hold you upright. And those ridges on the back, they aren't just random bumps. They're actually the leftovers, the remnants of the individual vertebrae that fused together long ago. You have the central median crest, and then the intermediate and lateral crests on each side. They create this super rugged landscape that gives your powerful back muscles and ligaments something to really grab onto. Okay, now let's look at the sides. This is where we find the auricular surface. It gets its name because it's shaped, believe it or not, like a human ear. This little ear-shaped patch is absolutely critical because this is the spot, the exact place where the sacrum forms the incredibly strong and stable sacroiliac joint, connecting your spine directly to your hip bones. But wait, there's more. The sacrum isn't just a weightlifter, it's also a bodyguard. It has this equally vital protective role. You can think of it as an armored tunnel, built to house a critical superhighway for your nervous system. Carved right through the center of the sacrum is this channel called the sacral canal. It's basically the very last leg of your spinal canal, a protective bony tunnel that was formed when those vertebrae all fused together, and its job is to safeguard the delicate nerves inside. So what's inside this tunnel? Some seriously important stuff. You've got the cauda equina, which literally means horse's tail in Latin because that's what it looks like. It's this bundle of nerve roots that controls your legs and pelvic organs. The canal also houses other crucial tissues, including those protective membranes called the meninges. Okay, so you've got this superhighway of nerves protected inside the bone, but how do they get out to do their jobs? Well, the sacrum has that covered too. It has 8 of these purpose-built holes called foramen. There are 4 pairs, 4 on the front and 4 on the back, and they act like perfectly placed exit ramps for the spinal nerves to leave the safety of the bone and get to work. And then at the very bottom, there's this really unique, kind of weird feature called the sacral hiatus. It's this U-shaped opening that's there simply because the back part of the 5th sacral vertebra never fully fused shut. This little gap, with 2 little bumps on either side called the sacral cornua, is the final exit. Now, it might seem like a design flaw, but as we're about to see, it's actually incredibly useful. This incredible bone doesn't just pop into existence fully formed. Nope,
Its story is a slow burn, a journey that takes decades, showing how it transforms to meet the changing demands our bodies face, from when we're tiny infants all the way to adulthood. It all kicks off just a few weeks into fetal life, but the real fusion process doesn't even start until you're a toddler. It keeps going slowly through childhood, gets another big push during puberty, and get this, it isn't fully locked in solid until you're about 25 years old. A quarter of a century to build this one solid foundation. And what's fascinating is that the final shape isn't the same for everyone. The male sacrum is usually longer and narrower. The female sacrum, on the other hand, is shorter, wider, and has a more pronounced curve. And that's no accident. It's a brilliant adaptive design that widens the pelvic outlet, a critical modification to make childbirth possible. Okay, so we've geeked out on all the bumps and canals and the whole development story. Now, let's bring it into the real world. How does all this anatomy knowledge actually help people in a clinical setting? Remember that little U-shaped gap at the bottom, the sacral hiatus? Well, here's where it becomes a clinical superstar. For a procedure called caudal anesthesia, an anesthesiologist can feel for that little gap and inject anesthetic right into the sacral canal. The medicine bathes those sacral and coccygeal nerves, providing fantastic pain relief for procedures like childbirth. It's a perfect example of anatomy in action. The sacrum is also a huge player in posture, and you can really see this during pregnancy. Hormones cause ligaments to loosen up, and the weight of the growing uterus pulls the top of the sacrum forward. So, to keep from falling over, a pregnant woman's body instinctively compensates by leaning back, creating that classic curve in the lower back. That characteristic pregnancy posture? Yep, you can thank the sacrum for that. So, when you boil it all down, the sacrum is this incredible central hub. It connects upward to the lumbar spine, it connects out to the sides with the pelvis, and it connects downward to the tailbone. It is literally the great connector of the lower skeleton. Ultimately, the sacrum is the silent hero, that crucial supporter that's literally holding you together. It's the keystone of your pelvis, the foundation for your spine, and the guardian of your nerves. A true masterpiece of engineering working tirelessly behind the scenes every single day. And that really makes you think, doesn't it? The sacrum does all this incredible work without us ever giving it a second thought. So I'll leave you with this question. What other invisible structures in your body are silently supporting your every single move?